Well, greetings, Moody Theological Seminary Greek geeks, as I love to call you. My name is Dr. Greg Stevens. I'll be your instructor here in NT 6652, Greek syntax and exegetical method, the next 7 weeks. We're together, and I want to welcome you to the course. You can find my contact information listed in the Your Instructor section of the course shell and a personal profile in the class introduction forum in the community post section of the course shell. While you're there, please post your own introduction if you haven't already done so, and take time to read not only mine but your peers as well. Some of you had me before in NT 5503, NT 5504, New Testament Greek 1, and New Testament Greek 2, but others of you are new to me and I to you, so let's get acquainted and enjoy our fellowship and time together through the 7 weeks of this course. And now let me officially welcome you to NT 6652, Greek Syntax and Exegetical Method, this 7-week course beginning here in May at Moody Theological Seminary online. I hope this message finds you well as we prepare for the course over the next week or so, next weeks rather. I know many of you are eager to get a jump on things, and I'm also aware that some may not see this until they log in the first day of the course. Either way, get acquainted with the content of the course shell. Take some time before you even begin your work to look all over the shell. Get familiar with its layout. Get familiar with where things are. The only thing you really can't log into or shouldn't log into are any quizzes or exams. I'm not even sure we have any. With that said, let me mention this is the first time I've taught this course, and for your benefit, because of that, I'm going to be posting a number of things from my colleague Ryan's section of the course, so that you don't miss anything in this section. Having said that, there may be things in Ryan's course structure and in course instruction that vary from what you see in this course. That's because he's putting some maybe heavier demands on his students. That's not a bad thing, but this being my first time, I want to give you the benefit of everything he posts extra, as you'll see even this first week, but also I'm not going to put those extra demands on you. One example is he requires students to reply to 2 peers each week in the discussion boards, whereas the course instructions only say 1. I'm only requiring the 1, as the instructions indicate. Certainly, you can reply to more than 1 and participate in more discussions than 1 with more than 1 peer, and you'd be wise to do so. But as far as course requirements, I'm not going to require you to do that. So in each discussion board, you do only have to reply to 1. And I'll also be posting some of Brian's videos where he discusses some of the work. And again, when his comments or instructions vary from the printed instructions here in the course, just stick with the printed instructions unless you hear otherwise from me. I'm your instructor, and when you do have questions, please send them to me, not to Ryan, and I'll take care of those. He's got his own section of students, and that'll keep him plenty busy, I'm sure. Well, having said that, let me officially welcome you again to NT 6652, Greek Syntax and Exegetical Method, the 7-week May-June course here at Moody Theological Seminary online. I hope this message finds you well and prepared to begin your course work together. And some of you may have already jumped into the course early, as soon as you could. Others are starting on the first day. Either way, take time to get acquainted with what is here. Look around the course shell. As I said before, get as thoroughly acquainted with it as you can. Each week is pretty similar in structure. And I'm sure once you get used to it, it'll flow nicely for you. Let me go over the first week's post here. The main point here, I quote from Wesley, one of the motivational memos, I call them. Those of you that had me before will recognize these. You're going to repeat, but they're worth repeating. And the first one here from John Wesley, the main point is, with all and above all, study the Greek and Hebrew Bible and the love of Christ. The first should naturally lead to the second. So I'm looking forward to our time together, and trusting that all of this serves to strengthen and deepen your love for the Lord. Well, your first week's assignments are these. You're going to have some, we're dealing rather with conjunctions, clauses, the genitive, case, textual criticism, and grammatical analysis. Our objectives here are 5. You chart the most significant conjunctions and clause structures for church-focused exegesis. You should be able to recognize the importance of the genitive case for exegesis. You should be able to chart a key textual variant and apply the results to the life of the church. Discuss the grammar and syntax of Ephesians 1:13-16, and translate 1 Thessalonians 4:1-8 using the exegetical guide in Logos Bible software. Note the CO indicates course objective with the lesson objective addresses. Okay, so for your week, reading this first week in Wallace's Grammar, you're going to read pages 667-78, pages 656-65, and pages 72-136. These arrow notes are emphasis, but you do need to read the whole section. So there's a bit of reading there. The familiarization at this point, as you use what you read over time, you'll get a much more thorough handling on it. You also want to read Bach and Fanning, Interpreting the New Testament Text, chapters 2 and 3. And then in Wallace and Edwards, this is the workbook for New Testament syntax. In chapter 2, you want to complete pages 31-34. And then you want to scan in chapter 17, pages 161-64. Do your class introductions, as I mentioned already. You want to fill those out, community posts. And then your first assignment is in the workbook, as I've said, is to answer the exegetical questions in chapter 2, questions 19-37. And you've got your translation there, your section dealing with Ephesians 1:13-18. Again, maintain the numbering from the workbook and do not restate the questions. Just maintain the numbering and give us your answers. Then you're going to do make a textual criticism chart. There's some instructions posted here in the course for that, so take note of those. Those will be helpful. And then for assignment 1-3, that's another quick glance chart. This one dealing with Greek clauses, communication, and so on. Your first discussion here, make sure you complete this after your reading, and you must reply, as I said before, to 1 peer. You can reply to more, but make sure you reply to 1 peer well. And note any instructions that might be given with regard to discussion boards. In particular, when you reply to a peer, I really look for 3 things. You ought to be complimenting them on any work well done. You ought also to provide kind, constructive critique for how you believe they might strengthen their post. And then lastly, leave your peer with a good, open-ended question that will cause them to think a little bit about what they said in their post or relevant to the issues of the week that we're studying. Okay. And then in the second discussion, you're going to be dealing with your translation from 1 Thessalonians 4:1-8, and be sure to do that as the instructions indicate here. You can read, so I don't need to reply to restate all of that. Again, I will mention that you do want to remember the 3 things in your replies to peers: compliment good work, provide kind, constructive critique for how they could strengthen their post in your view, and third, leave them with a good open-ended question relative to their post and or the topic of our work for the week. Each week you will get lesson objectives, your reading assignments, your written assignments, discussion boards, and so forth. Again, you want to get familiar with everything you can in the course shell, particularly the course syllabus, the course schedule, and the course shell itself and its layout. Do pay attention to any new announcements. Every week I'll be posting an announcement, I'll be making them on Sunday nights. They should show up Monday morning. Be sure to take time to read these each week. And then a couple points of clarification. Again, what I've said about discussion boards, remember those, particularly those 3 things that when you reply to a peer, be sure that your work is substantive. What I really like is when you're dealing with a Greek passage, include the Greek, followed by your English translation, followed by any other work you need to show in that. Remember the late policy. All work is due. Some of it's due by Saturday morning, some of it by that immediately following Sunday night or Monday night. Our weeks run Tuesday through Monday, normally. I will work to get everything graded and back to you within a week of its being posted, of its due date, rather. So the work from this first week should be back to you a week from Monday, meaning we started on the 8th, the work is due by the 15th, so by the 22nd you should have your first week's work graded and back. Let me mention, though, in that on May 23rd, I'll be leaving to go to Israel for 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks. I'll be working on a dig there. You'll be able to follow me on my Facebook page and my personal page or my ministry page. Watch the crowns. Again, the links are here for you. I'll be posting pictures and hopefully some videos of what we're doing there. But I will be in Israel, and the grading may be running a little slower as a result of my time crunch, but I've been there before, I've done this before, and I've been able to keep up with all the grading thus far, and I'm assuming I will this time. But I just want to throw up that little caution flag. Be patient with me from May 23rd through June 9th, as those are the dates I'll be in Israel. I know I probably should be going to Athens and working on the Acropolis since it's the Greek course, but such was not the opportunity. So bear with me on that. Keep me in your prayers if you would, and enjoy your study of Greek syntax and exegetical method.